Crystal Palace 3, Aston Villa 2. Here are the thoughts of the fans straight after the game off our Twitter feed. Very similar to Burnley away. Smith late on substitutions again. Mings and Cash were missed massively. Started the game really well, then dropped off. Got in front again, but then it became a shambles. Worst second half I've seen this season. Burnley away all over again. Shocking second half performance. Game management was non-existent. Pain, 3 strikers at the end. Paul Lambert versus Bradford City levels of desperation. Can we just end the season now, please? That second half was embarrassing and Ramsey needed to come off earlier. Piss poor second half. I think we lost control of the midfield in the second half. Shame the difference was probably the halftime team talks. Want this season over now. Tough one. Let's get straight into it. Hello and welcome to Up the Villa podcast. So Aston Villa come away 3-2 losers against Crystal Palace. Bitterly disappointing for me in the manner in which we lost that game today. Let's just briefly go back to the start. I thought we started very well. I was really impressed. I said to you guys, buzzing how we're playing. We're attacking well, we're moving the ball well. Got the goal, brilliant. As soon as we conceded that goal, as soon as we scored that goal, it was like a different Villa turned up. And this was the first warning we'd had in this game. Obviously, Benteke scores his goal, and then we go in at half-time 2-1, and you're thinking, right, let's go out second half now, just impose ourselves, carry on in the way we're doing. And that just wasn't the story today. For me, it was the worst I've seen Villa play in a half for a very long time. It was inept at times. The midfield just disappeared. We've had a lot of questions in the previews and on this podcast about which midfield three would you go with. It was awful today. None of them could get on the ball second half. I can't tell you when we strung 2 passes together. It was just woeful. Really frustrating. We conceded 22 shots on our goal against Crystal Palace. Now, no disrespect to them, but we're better than that. We're a lot better than that. We played well against a good side the other night against Everton. We're so inconsistent. I'm just really frustrated in the way that we played today. There were positives. I thought Watkins was decent again. He was making the runs. He played well. El Ghazi got 9 Premier League goals this season. Buzzing for him. But apart from that, it weren't great. Ryan?
Nah, it weren't great at all. You could put Emi Martinez in there. He made a couple of good saves. But like you say, first half was buzzing. I had a fiver on Benteke to score any time and Villa to win 3-1. It's took 6 years for Benteke to get back on fire, but he has been firing lately. And I've just thought half-time, with the introduction of Jack to come in the second half, I've just thought we'd take those apart, but I was slightly disappointed in Smith today. I think he could have managed the game better. One thing I've been critical of Smith throughout the season is his inability tactically during the game. And I felt he let us down a bit today on that. We could all say the midfield was failing a bit. McGinn picked up a yellow. The game had started to pass young Ramsey by a bit. And I just feel, come on, make us up, man. Even you could get McCamber in there to tighten things up, or when you bring Jack on, bring him in as a number 10. But didn't happen. And what I will say, it's not really down to the midfield three. I think you can include the wingers as well, because they're not really holding the ball up either. They don't relieve any pressure on the midfield three as well. So I think as a 5, it's got to improve. It's got to improve. And hopefully with the players that's going to come in the summer, and Smith then will have a bit more options off the bench.
When you reflect on that game like I just did and like you just did, and it's our season in a nutshell, to be fair, the inconsistency of us. Start the game brilliant, and then half of the game we're absolutely dreadful. And I just can't put my finger on it. I do think Smith should have made some substitutions, but again, we've said it before, when one of them are bad, they're all bad. And second
that's the thing, isn't it?
They were all bad.
If one of those clogs are out, the whole system just falls apart, doesn't it? It just falls apart.
you just come away and you're just so frustrated because you've scored 2 goals away from home, and it's just not enough. Do you know what I mean? And fair play to Palace second half. They upped their game, didn't they? Eze was brilliant second half, and they played really well. But I do seriously think it was more down to the way we applied ourselves than them. Seb, what did you make of it today?
Yeah, we made them look very good, didn't we? I mean, credit to Roy Hodgson. He came and he did his homework. They exploited our right-hand side of defence to a T, perfection. Al Mohammadi really struggled with Zaha and Eze. It seemed as though they were doubling up on him. Add Tyreek Mitchell into that, and he was having a nightmare coping. I think that's the side they got 2 of their goals down. Before we got our goal, I was getting really excited. It was looking like the Palace of Boxing Day. We were going to take them to the sword. This could be a 3-4. We could have been even 5-0 up at one point. You know, we were having the chances. We just weren't tucking them away. Watkins played really well. I think, although we all really want Keenan Davis to succeed, I think it showed just how much work he has to do if he is going to succeed. Watkins' forward running is unmatched at times. It's almost as if he came out the womb running. He hasn't stopped since. He's been really good, and Keenan Davis just isn't up to that standard. Al Ghazi as well, you know, he's on the same amount of goals this season as Mane, Cavani, Mahrez, Lingard, and they've all been praised for their seasons. You know, he's probably pushing above his weight, but the fact we've come away with nothing is really disappointing.
Another good thing, Anwar's call up to the national team as well. So hopefully in the summer he gets his chance as well. One thing that I really dislike seeing at the minute now is the Keenan and Wesley coming on and I don't like that substitution. I've never liked it. I hated it when Lambert did it in that Bradford game. Remember when we had about 6 strikers all lined up on the 18-yard box? We need to see more of a tactical decision rather than just chucking lads on up front, hoping for the best. Justin, what do you make of it then?
Yeah, incredibly frustrating day, wasn't it? We all hope we get back on the winning streak with 3 games to go. Palace side that after the first half were there for the taking. I think we all saw that. I think their strength is going forward, isn't it? You know, Benteke's hit form just at the wrong time for us. Obviously, Zaha and Eze are excellent footballers, and we were missing 2 out of our back 4, weren't we? Cash and Mings. And I don't think, if ever there was a game when you realise just how much Tyrone Mings brings to our team, then that was today, wasn't it? You know, yes, occasionally he has the odd mishap or, you know, cock up. But generally, what he brings to the team in leadership-wise is phenomenal. You know, he never stops talking. He's constantly on everyone's back. He's great in the air. I would love to see him today up against Benteke. I'm not sure Benteke scores that goal if Mings is marking him. And I love El Mohammadi, but he's not Matty Cash, is he? So, you know, with their threat going forward and our back 4 half missing, I suppose. And to be fair, the 2 goals they scored in the second half were a bit fluky, weren't they? I think, you know, Conce has been immaculate this season, but he showed Zaha onto his right foot right in the box, which, you know, you're asking for trouble, aren't you, if you do that? And then the winner, he's a total miss hit and he just happens to drop to somebody in the box. You know, could have dropped anywhere. It drops on his shoulder. So, yeah, it's incredibly frustrating. You know, I think we all can see that where we're lacking and the worry is obviously the way we fall apart in games, which we have done a lot in the last 10 games especially. You know, we look a weak side. We look like a side at the moment that if the season had just started, we'd be in the relegation places. So, you know, it is worrying. But I think we've got, I know we keep talking about this and it's easy to say. We've got to look at the bigger picture. We've had a good season. We're all worried a little bit now about where we're going and you know, can Smith take us to the next level? I'm sure he'll be there next season. I'm sure he'll be ready to take us on. Just a few more signings. You know, don't forget we're missing Jack as well. I know he's on the bench, but he's not the Jack of the start of the season, is he? You know, you can tell he's off the pace. So 3 out of our first 11 missing. Incredibly frustrating day. Lots to work on, and a big summer ahead. I just wish sometimes that we could just get over the line in these games. You know, it is really annoying because I think it would have just took a little bit of pressure off everybody, especially with Spurs and Chelsea to come next week. You know, it's not going to get any easier. But we've got to stay positive. We've had a good season, and there's lots of good things ahead, hopefully.
Like you say, the bigger picture is very promising. We're all very optimistic. We all get the direction in which we're going in, but the here and now has been pretty disappointing in 2021. You're talking about we were sniffing around Europe. Now we're looking like we're not going to get in the top 10, are we? We've got this kit over my shoulder, which we haven't won a game in. Love the shirt, but we've been dreadful in it. Another positive, I guess, as a positive, is that we've highlighted the areas in which we know that we need to improve and get new signings in those specific positions. You know, right back, definitely need another right back up for Elmo. We need another central defender because if Mings or Konsa are out, we can't rely on Engels and House. Central midfield, massive. We need an enforcer in there. Games like today to just suck it up and get us through it. Maybe a bit more experience central midfield wise. Just be a bit braver and a bit more confident and just believe in us, because we've all thought like we've had a real good season, but confidence wise, we still look pretty flaky in some of these games. What's your vibe on that, Ryan?
Yeah, look, when you guys were just talking about we get the lead and then when we lose it, we struggle. But at the start of the season, we were getting our noses in front and that was it. Game over. We'd see a game out, no problem at all. But like you say, as soon as we concede, we're flaky again, like the Villa of last season when we used to go goal behind. That was it really, wasn't it? Game over. So, yeah, the confidence is lacking and we just need to get on the ball. Do you know what I mean? Just be, like you said, be brave. Just take that ball down, relieve some pressure. I see like, who are the two wingers for Palace today? Zaha and Townsend.
Townsend, yeah. Yeah,
them two would take the ball and they'd buy you a bit of time and they'd lay it off. But Traore and Algazi, the goal scoring stats are brilliant. But when our backs are against the wall, they just get the ball. They're just running to dead ends and we concede possession again. So it's all about coaching these players and getting them in that confident zone when we do go a goal behind.
I think as a football fan, when you're watching that game today and you're getting towards the 60-minute mark, you're thinking, yeah, bring Grealish on. The next, as a fan, you start seeing that game slipping away from us. We know what's coming. We just needed that little bit of a change, something just to mix it up a little bit, and we just didn't have it today. And that's the one thing that frustrated me, that I was sat at home thinking, this ain't going well here. We're under so much pressure, but we just stuck with it and just kept the same thing going. And then all of a sudden something ticks and they're just like chasing the game. They're two up top. Let's just don't work for me. So Justin, you can end this episode then. Moving into Spurs then. Come on, lift us up a bit.
I think it just shows that it's not a nice way to talk about, but it's like the project. You know, it's a massive project. And the last few seasons, we've gone into the end of every season still really not knowing where we are. And although we are comfortably mid-table, it feels that way again, doesn't it? It feels like we don't know what we're going to be doing next season because of the way we're ending the season. But we've just got to stay positive. You know, we've got fantastic owners. They're going to invest. It's the biggest season for Dean Smith next year by a country mile. You know, he's comfortably easy, took us out of the Championship. He's kept us up. He's now took us to mid-table. Now is the biggest question he'll probably ever face in management. He's a Premier League manager with which he's going to have a very, very good squad of players, you would think, by the start of next season. So can he take us to that next level where we want to go, which is going to be European, pushing for European places next season. And I hope that's where he takes us. I really, really hope, all the dissenting fans, all the people that are questioning him. And yet, if we're all honest, we're all questioning him because it's just the way it's going at the moment. And as fans, we all want to be up that top end. We want to be challenging, but it's a project. It's for me, it's a long-term thing. We want to just progress year in and year out. And if Smith's the manager and we hit that top 7 or top 8 next season, I will be absolutely over the moon.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Dino is definitely the man to take us to that next level. We've said it before. We've progressed every single season under Dean Smith, and that's the most important thing for me. So I have utmost faith that he's going to take us to the next level.
And I really hope the fans don't. Now, worst case scenario, we lose our next 2, which is more than possibility now. We've got Tottenham away, Chelsea at home, 2 very hard games. Our future will not be dictated by whatever happens in these next 2 games. Our future will be dictated by the summer and the first 10 games next season. So let's not all have a dicky fit. Let's not all destroy Twitter with all the meltdowns we keep having. Let's all keep focused and our feet on the ground, and let's support the club now to push on to the next stage. That's what I want to see happen. The fan base come together and applaud what they've done this season, because at the start of the season, if you'd have said we're finishing 11th, everyone's going to be over the moon. So just remember that.
Just cast your mind back to O'Neill's first season as well. A very similar season. You know, we put them foundations in place to go and have a go the following season. And I see a few parallels between O'Neill's first season and this season, really.
So we will wrap it up there. Villa fans, dropping your thoughts and comments down below. But if you are going to say Dino out, then tell us who you'd have instead. You know, back it up with something that another manager could bring to Aston Villa, rather than just saying Dino out. Because if you're going to say he's going to go out, then you must have something in mind, or a style of play, or something, or you know, you got to back it up. You can't just keep saying Dino out for me, because it's just too easy at the minute just to say that. So we'll be back in the week. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting. If you've got this far in this video, cheers for watching, and up the Villa.
Up the Villa.